What's good, YouTube? It's Mario. We back with another video, back with another reaction video. Y'all seen from the title and the thumbnail, man. It's the Young Thug reaction, bro. Man, it's no. I was finna say free Young Thug, but he out, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna get straight into the video. It's gonna be a couple different videos, so y'all gonna see me cut from one video to another. I'm just trying to get a full grasp of it. And I'm gonna react to DJ Academic video in this video as well. So it's gonna be probably like 6 videos into one video. So y'all boys should sit back, get your popcorn, nigga. If you got your socks off, like the video. Ugly. But nah, man. Hey, man. If you don't got your socks off, like the video. Just like the video, man. Drop a like. It's free. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you're new. All that good stuff. But yeah, so just sit back and relax. So let's get straight to the reaction. Alright, Young Thug apologizes, takes full responsibility as Judge weighs sentencing. Alright, let's see. I have not been keeping up with none of the court stuff. I really haven't been keeping up with Young Thug's case or anything like that. So this is gonna be the first time I'm really like watching or hearing any of this stuff. So you know what I'm saying? We're gonna see.
All right, Mr. Williams, is there anything that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, you know, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, you know. My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just like, you know, having so much time invested into this, you know. And I am a smart guy. I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, you know. I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, you know, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, you know, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today. And
wait, is he speaking into this? Is this a monitor? Is it like a virtual thing, or is this just like a monitor showing the rest of the courtroom? I don't know.
And just trusting me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a, you know, bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you.
That nigga started cracking up, man. Nigga started cracking up, man. What the heck?
I'll never be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. You know, I come from nothing and I've made something, and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me, because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved.
Why did it just end like that? Alright, y'all, so this is a longer video, I guess, of the court hearing or whatever, trial. I don't know why the other video was so short and it just ended like that, but this one is 9 minutes, as y'all can see, so yeah.
Everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody, for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to...
Bro, why the cops always get fat, bro? Not every cop, obviously, but that's like a stereotypical thing that you have to see on movies and TV shows, especially like cartoons. Why is the cops always fat, my nigga? They have to go through basic training on some army shit. Sorry, I need to cuss, bro. I be trying not to cuss. On some army stuff, probably just blur that out, but on some army stuff, they gotta go through basic training, kinda. You know what I'm saying? And they had to get through all that stuff, pick peppers. Like, bro, they gotta do a lot of stuff. So when they came to the I said army, excuse me. When they came into the police force, they probably were skinnier, maybe more fit or whatever. And they just they let this stuff go over the years. Nigga, you're still a cop. You have to still chase people if something happens. You gotta protect people. You gotta do this. So why would you not be in the best shape, bro? Like, I'm not a cop. I never will be. So obviously I don't know everything that goes behind the scenes in their personal life. But my boy, it don't take too long to have a little gym session. An hour is cool. A little hour gym session, 45-minute gym session. You know what I'm saying? Get the weights, hit the treadmill. If you need a personal trainer, maybe, or you know what I'm saying? You in a police force, so you probably can get a good personal trainer, or at least get like some fellow companions to help you or go to the gym with you and help you out. Like, well, like I don't understand that, bro. Like, nigga, it make no sense, bro.
Allow me to.
And I'm speaking on the terms as a police officer, not all fat people. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother discussion. And yeah, but I'm saying as a police officer, general it's your job to be active and do things. And you're fat. Like, what? Why am I nigga? Why? Now, obviously, not every officer. There's different roles. Some officers just be chilling. Like, not, they be doing paperwork and all other stuff, security. But at the same time, it's still best to be fit in all aspects of life, but especially as a police officer. Yeah, you might just be doing paperwork or you might be doing security, but you never know when something may happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know, bro. It's just like...
Go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know, I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that. You know, I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece, and I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, you know, I do things like I put millions of dollars back into my community for real.
People keep talking like Kamala's the future.
LS.
I really did. I did more than anybody ever did from my side, you know? But I understand, you know, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. You know, it's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, you know, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like, I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And having come up from where you came up from and living in and around that, you know that gangs are damaging to our community. And it may be that a whole lot of rap music and the rap industry is, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that that's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap.
Is that an L analogy? She said 1990 WWE. It wasn't like called WWF or something like that. It's like gangs. I don't know if that was a good analogy,
But whether it is fake or not, it has tremendous impact on kids and young people who think, this is cool, this is what I want to do. Look at him, he's a millionaire. I can do that by being, you know, a gangster in the streets. And that's not true. What you're likely to have happen to you if you're a gangster in the streets is you get shot, you get killed, or you get thrown in prison. And those are, you know, by far the most likely outcomes. And
yeah, y'all YNs, bro. Y'all better change your ways, bro.
And, you know, you've been in here watching the trial, and you've seen the pictures of Mr. Ryan posing with a gun as big as he is at 15 years old and going out and shooting and killing another teenager. And that's what gangs do. And that's unfortunately a lot of what rap music does. And if you are a modern day John Lennon, you know, I mean, he might have rapped too in this day and age. I don't know, but I know you're talented, and even if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go, and that there are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. And, you know, I know that happens for protection sometimes, but a much better way would be getting an education and setting, you know, hanging around with people who set a good example. And you be one of those people that sets a good example. I mean, all right, so that's my high horse on that.
My fault if y'all look at me and I'm loud, but niggas eating a little bit, man.
I could also go on. But I want you to try to be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right?
Hey,
All right.
she's preaching a little bit, though.
It is not lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, you know, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today, and therefore does not seem to be particularly worried that Mr. Williams, if on the streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration and crafting my sentence. And in permitting a NOLO plea to the RICO count and one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the NOLO to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts, and for the remaining counts with which you are charged, I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions from the defense and a little bit of the special conditions suggested by the prosecution. On count one, the court sentence is 20 years to serve 5.
Being forced to see ads?
Bro, wait, what? 20 years to serve, but what? Why the fuck they keep cutting off the shit so early?
I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact you have on 59, 5 years. It's 5 years to serve, commuted to time. Court sentence is 20 years to serve 5 years, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years to be probated, and a $25,000 fine. On count two, the sentence is 5 years to serve, commuted to time served. That's the minimum sentence that's permitted on that count. It is required to be run consecutively. I'm going to run it consecutive to count one, but I am going to backload. Oh, I'm sorry. That is not commuted. That is 5 years to serve, and it's going to be run consecutively to count one, backloaded, by which I mean after you serve your 15 years of probation, if you have been successful on that probation, and I sincerely hope that you are, then at the end of that 15 years, I will commute the entire rest of any service portion of your sentence to time served. So I'll get to the end of it and give you the total sentence, but I'm also going to impose a $15,000 fine with regard to that count. Count 57, 20 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, the balance of 15 years probated, concurrent with count 1. Count 58, 10 years to serve 5, commuted to time served, balance probated, concurrent with count 1. 59, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. 60, 5 years to serve, commuted to time served, concurrent with count 1. Count 61, 5 years to serve, that is required.
Nigga, I don't know what she's talking about, bro. Am I the only nigga lost? I get what she's saying, like he gotta serve community time, pay fines, probation, but it's like she keeps saying it, so I'm assuming these are for like all the different charges he had, which he did kind of say, so I guess that's right. But it's just like at the same time, it's just I feel like I'm in fucking class, like back in high, bro. I feel like I'm in freaking class back in freaking high school or something, bro, and the teacher just yapping like, hush.
Required to be also a consecutive.
Like, is class over or not? Can I go home or not? In his case, can he go home or not?
Sentence, so that's going to be run consecutively to count 56 and backloaded. Count 62, 10 years to serve, also required to be served consecutively. That's going to be
And that nigga lawyer writing. That nigga take notes.
consecutive to count
W lawyer.
61, also backloaded. So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation. Followed.
What? Wait, she said 40 years, something. Niggas not even gonna be alive for another 40. Let me not cut this nigga short. Let me not cut his life short. He already, what, 30 something now? That's gonna be 70. He's gonna be 70. He might still be alive, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to dead this nigga. But, bro, hold on. I know she didn't mean like 40 years in prison though.
61, also backloaded. So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but
What is she? I don't get it. 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison. Somebody need to help me in the comments. Maybe she's saying, this is what I'm thinking. She's saying the 40 years is getting reduced to the 5 or what?
commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to
Niggas out here talking shit.
You are to remain on reporting status for the first half of your probation, active reporting for the first 7.5 years of your probation, and that is pursuant to OCGA 17-10-1, subsection 2, A2A. And Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, in order to keep him on reporting status, there needs to be good cause shown. We all concede that good cause is shown here?
Stipulate.
All right, I appreciate that. Special conditions of your probation.
What good cause? What do they mean?
Can I have a second, Your Honor?
Sure.
Let the judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You had enough time to talk with your attorneys?
Yes.
Okay. All right, special conditions of your probation. After 48 hours from your release, you are to stay away from the metro Atlanta area, and that's defined by the U.S. Census Bureau. It may change, but you can look that.
Nigga can't even go outside. Nigga have to stay in the crib basically. I lie, a nigga like me, I wouldn't trip, bruh. Bring the studio to my crib. I'm around my family. I ain't seen him in a minute. Like, he probably seen him in a little bit, you know what I'm saying, time to time, but he ain't being able to hold his family, all that. I'd be chilling. I mean, eventually not being able to go outside, and then, I mean, he can go, it seems like he can go outside, but it's not outside, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be tripping about not being able to go outside for real, nigga, because I'd be chilling anyway, bro. I don't go outside now. Let me stop. I go outside a little bit, but I don't care to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to go outside, nigga. I'm chilling at the crib for real. But, damn, they can't even go. Metro Atlanta area, I'm assuming that's like the city part, like the main stuff. I've been to Atlanta a good amount of times, but I don't call it a Metro Atlanta area. I just like the city. So I'm assuming the Metro Atlanta area is like the city and stuff like that, like the main, where the main stuff is, like Lenox Mall and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm assuming that Metro Atlanta is.
That up
Like the Falcon Stadium and stuff like that.
time to figure out what that is. For the first 10 years of your probation, subject to the following exceptions, you are permitted to be in the Metro Atlanta area to attend any wedding, funeral, or graduation from high school, college, or graduate school of any of your immediate family members. And immediate family members is defined the same way that you all were contemplating it when you were negotiating. You can get here up to 24 hours prior to any such event, and you need to leave within 48 hours after any such event.
20, 180.
Alright, get your ugly ass on, man.
In addition, during each year of your probation, I'm going to require that you come to the Metro Atlanta area and make a live anti-gang and anti-gun violence presentation 4 times a year, each year of your probation, at a grade school, a middle school, a boys or girls club, anything like that,
bro.
that type of group.
Hey,
And
the government / the law is the biggest gang. They press this nigga to push no gang violence, no gun violence, no gang activity, no gun violence movement. Hey, man. That's tough. I mean, that's good though, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, they pressing him like he has to do it. That's crazy.
if you want to, that presentation can include a benefit concert, and these presentations may count towards your required community service hours, which I'm going to impose, that during each year of your probation, you perform 100 hours of community service. You are, and this is required by the fact that there's a gang conviction. You shall not knowingly have contact of any.
100 hours really not that much hours, bro. You gotta think 3-4 days is like 100 hours. So he could probably do 100 hours in about 2 or 3 weeks if he don't, depending on how much hours he put in a day or every other day or whenever he does it, if he has to do it every day or not. But 100 hours not that much.
Any kind or character with any other member or associate of any criminal street gang. Exception to that, if your brother is a member of any street gang, I hope you talk him into getting out of it. Quantavious Greer, and then also Sergio Kitchens, as long as you are contractually obligated to him. That is going to include anybody who is named in this indictment, except as absolutely necessary to conduct the lawful business of your musical career, and to any extent that the state is not agreeing to the exception for Mr. Kitchens. In the event that that part is not enforceable because it is only a portion of a special condition, going to provide that that be severable from the rest of this, and I'll put some case cites in the Senate sheet for that. You are in no way to promote any criminal street gang or any criminal street gang activity, including on any social media platform. You are not to utilize any hand signs, terminology, or language that promotes any criminal street gang.
Yo, they nerfing this nigga.
You are not to participate in any criminal street.
They nerfing this nigga. It said no hand signs, nigga. I throw this up in pictures. I don't know if this is a gang or not. I just throw it up because it's like, shit, nigga, I'm taking a picture. You know what I'm saying? It's either this or nothing, nigga. I'm not finna take a picture like this. That shit weak. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna take a picture with one hand in my pocket like on some school shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just be like, Know what I'm saying? Picture. Take picture. I'm saying? That's it. They nerfing this nigga. How you gonna take pictures? Well, he just gonna be like this? That shit weak. I ain't gonna lie. I try weak, man.
Street gang activity. You are not to knowingly engage in any contact with any of the victims that are listed in this indictment or with any of their family members. And you may not have in your possession or with arm's reach any kind of a firearm because you're going to be a convicted felon. And that is, except I know that you have security and you need security. You can be within arm's reach of a firearm that is in the possession of either licensed law enforcement or licensed security personnel that are in your security detail or anybody that you're performing with. You are to submit to random drug screens and not use any drugs unless they are prescribed for you by a licensed physician. You are to execute a Fourth Amendment waiver that will permit the search of your person, residence, vehicles, and electronics for any firearms, any criminal street gang paraphernalia, or any illicit drugs. And as I mentioned with regard to one of the first of your co-defendants from this trial, at least since I've been involved, to plead guilty, our Uniform Superior Court rules instruct and provide that it is absolutely proper for a judge to grant leniency in sentencing when, quote, the interest of the public in the effective administration of criminal justice are served, unquote. And I think that this plea is in the interest of the public and in the interest of effective administration of justice. Have been trying to ensure that to the extent I can, this trial also abides by that. It's been challenging at certain times. I find your plea to be freely, knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered with an understanding of the consequences, and I accept it as such. I also need to inform you that your attorneys were going to represent you through either the last day of this term of court or 30 days from now, whichever is later, and any of the filings that were mentioned that need to be filed within that time, they would file on your behalf unless they are permitted to withdraw from representing you before that time. I am not going to impose the conditions suggested by your counsel about the benefit concerts and the donations to the sheriff's office, but I certainly strongly encourage you to do those things and to do and continue to do things that benefit your community and especially help young people to stay out of criminal trouble.
Bro, I wonder what be going through the minds of people, bro, like at this moment, like Young Thug, like anybody, let's say, it don't have to be Young Thug, but in this case, it's about him. But anybody in his shoes at this moment, like you just hear what the judge got to say, wonder what they be thinking about. Like, do they be zoning out, or they be actually listening, or do it be a little bit of both? Like, I just want to be what be going through people's head. Like Young Thug in this case, what be going through his head at this moment. Like, you know, I don't know. That's what I be thinking about sometimes, though. I don't know what I think about, though.
Anything from counsel other than that?
I have one matter, Your Honor.
Okay, and does the state as well?
Yeah. Your Honor, with regards to Mr. Williams being permitted to come to the Metro Atlanta area or Cleveland Avenue area for funeral or the other items,
right?
Can you also consider, God forbid, there's a serious medical condition of a person that
in
is
his immediate family, certainly we can add that. And I also meant to mention, because I know you do travel all over in order to pursue your career, that it's permissible for your probation to be transferred to out of state, and that has to be done through probation, but that is fine with the court. And you may also keep your, nobody's mentioned it, but keep your passport and travel out of state and internationally to the extent that you need to do that for business purposes as well.
Hey, you got some leeway, though.
All right, Mr. Body.
Yes, very briefly, and thank you. The district attorney just wanted me to urge the court, due to the fact that the Thomases have been negatively affected incredibly traumatically by what has been discussed by both parties here today, to make a brief statement as she believes that they fall within the exception or within the bounds of Marcy's law. If the court would allow, I understand the court made a ruling earlier as it relates to that, but she wants
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate, well, I cannot even begin to understand what they must, anybody must be going through when they lose a family member to violence or criminal violence. Mr. Williams himself has expressed his own sorrow to the family. I, again, am going to stand by my belief that the appropriate time to hear a victim impact statement from them is at the close of the trial that contains the murder count with regard to their family member.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Court is adjourned. Good luck to you. And I'm going to have there better be no violations, but if there are any, you're coming back to see me. Yeah. All right.
W Young Thug, man, that boy free now, man. He got, as y'all seen and heard, he got some stuff to do though. He ain't just free, but at least he not in jail. Young Thug's father calls out Fulton County DA. So I guess it's his father speaking on whatever, the DA.
His father would like to say a few words. His father, Jeffrey Williams Sr., would like to say a few words.
Do you want to just, you can look at me or whoever asks you a question?
It don't make no difference.
No? You just want to talk?
Yeah, y'all can ask me a question.
Yeah. I think everybody's set up. Yeah, so if you just, what were your thoughts when you heard that your son was going to take a plea?
Well, I was kind of startled behind it because I was in agreement with Brian and
But cut the plea, man.
You know, let's keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's make them continue to embarrass themselves. You know, but at the same token, my son is I've never tried to interfere with his decisions. I just try to give him the knowledge of making the best decision that he sees fit for him. And I support it.
And so what was it like?
That he's going home? I feel great that he's going home. I feel great that he's going home, but at the same token, I still wanted to fight. But that's his decision. That's his decision.
Fight for what, though?
On the other hand,
see, I'm undereducated on this situation, so I can't say too much. But fight for what? Like, he out. You know what I'm saying? He caught the plea. But hey, man, he out, bro. You know what I'm saying? But shit, y'all educate me in the comments. I really don't feel like doing my research. I don't necessarily care that much, to be quite frankly with y'all. I'm not trying to sound mean or disrespectful, but I don't care that much to go back years and to see all this nigga trial and all that. Like, I really don't want to do all that. So if you educated on it, if you've been keeping up with it, man, let me know in the comments. But hey, man, all in all, the ultimate goal is to go home, right? Like, I don't get what his dad wanted him to do more, but it's not my business for anyway. I'm just watching, you know what I'm saying? But if you educated on the whole situation, let me know. Let me know in the comments. My voice sound like that.
Man that he is. You know, I've always been in his life from a pup to now. And I'm going to continue to be in his life. You know, and as an adult, he has to make his own decision.
And
you know?
do you live here in Metro Atlanta?
Yes, I do.
So how does it feel to hear that he's not allowed to be in Metro Atlanta?
I'm totally against that because this is where he's from. You know, and to have a district attorney take that away from him that isn't a resident from here. She's from another state. You know, and to see her take a man away from where he's from to have to go live somewhere else, that's offensive to me. I'm really offended by that.
Can you talk about, sorry, I thought you were done. I was just saying, can you talk about your bond through music, and part of his conditions is that he can still make music, still do some performances.
Damn.
I know you said you were
Why they zooming so far on his head like that, though? Hold on. What they trying to say about Unc, man? Why they zooming so far on his head, bro? Hold on. We goddamn switch this shit real quick. So you gotta keep moving this. It's just like different videos, bro. Why they zoom so far on that nigga?
still make music, still do some
God damn. Yo, what the hell they do that for?
I know you said
He tripping.
get back to that with him.
Yeah, we gonna get back to work. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're YSL loaded. I'm YSL loaded. You know, and in order for us to get back to our normal life, we're gonna have to put in some more work. We're gonna have to put in a lot of work, but the work that we need to do foremost for the city of Atlanta, Fulton County, we need to get rid of the poison that's in our system, and that's the district attorney office. So vote Courtney Kramer. Courtney Kramer, I support Courtney Kramer to the fullest. I feel.
It's how Thug gonna look when he ordered, bro. This nigga looks exactly like Young Thug, bro. Like, I know it's his dad, so like, duh, but like, yo, it's like he just took his face, put it on his son's face. Like, bro, spinning image, bro. It's crazy. I don't know what Young Thug mama like, but I see straight dad. Like, I don't even think his mom look like him at all, or he look like his mom at all. I don't know, but look exactly like his dad. It's crazy.
And it's not because of what she said about us. It's because she said that, and she was in my company and never knew who I was.
That boy's a real country dad.
What are your thoughts on his art being used?
Southern dad.
Not just the art, freedom of speech. Let's talk about his rights. We freedom of speech, man. You know, how can you take a person's freedom of speech and say, now we're gonna tell you how you need to talk or how you supposed to talk? You know, who would feel comfortable with? Would any of us out here right now feel comfortable with someone telling us, you confirmed from saying this? You can't say that? You know, what do the Constitution play a role at? You know, these young men, all of these young men, and some of us too, all of our rights are being violated right now because we're being dictated to on how we supposed to live, how we supposed to look, what we supposed to say. You know, we have a Constitution. When are we gonna start acknowledging our Constitution?
That Constitution been packed.
Supposedly, we did away with communism.
They only use it when it's beneficial.
You know, we took down a statue. We tore up a flag. What about the laws? Let's change the laws too. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna do away with it, let's do away with all of it. Change the law. We're in a new day and time. Let's make the laws for the new day and time.
Do you think his lyrics will change now? Yes.
I hope not. I wouldn't. But you know, he's behind the 8 ball right now. So we're gonna have to justify something. We're gonna have to make some justification on how we got to narrate it now. You know, and that's sad. That's sad. That a man should have to do that, and that's his way of life. That's how he feeds himself. That's how he feeds his family. That's his job.
And how
Are you going to be in at Rice Street right now?
Huh?
Yes.
Are you in at Rice Street?
Definitely. Definitely.
So we thank you guys. We do got to head to Wright Street.
One more quick question. Any words that you want to wish to anybody else remaining on the case? Anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, I definitely want to say something to the people that's left on this case, along with the people who are waiting to be charged. Keep your heads up. Keep fighting. Sooner or later, somebody gonna have to make a decision. We need to start making the people accountable that makes the decisions for us. So we need to put the right people in office. We need to start scanning the people that we vote for.
And now that we have voting right now, it needs to be a presidential topic. It needs to be a topic about prison and reform. Why, the presidents are not discussing this during their debates. It needs to be at the forefront of the presidential debates at this time. So.
But the people got to make that decision.
Yeah, we got to make that.
And I'm going to leave y'all with this. In any fight you go through in life, and anything that you have to deal with in life, you can't be scared. You can't be scared. And I'm out of here.
That boy wiped the nose. OG said, nigga, slat, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga? What you talking about, nigga?
In the words of John Lewis.
Get to your kids,
Fight.
Get to your grandkids, support them, tell them you love them, hug them, just be there. Just be there.
And if you see something wrong and you see something that's not just, say something. Get in good trouble. In the words of John Lewis, say something.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and let it happen if it's not your family. Don't wait till it's your family. If you see his family, anybody else's family, like the other guys that are still here, don't just stop coming because Thug is out. There's still other guys fighting for their lives. Still come, still support the others that are still here. Because we will.
Another little news clip. W dad though. I don't know who the other lady was, but W to her too.
Continues our team coverage tonight. Blake, people were packed in front of the Fulton County Jail awaiting Young Thug's release.
Sean, excitement was in the air tonight as family and friends gathered here waiting for Young Thug's release. Now, they weren't able to see the rapper released as he was discreetly driven out of the Fulton County Jail. We're here getting driven with his attorney. Now, what we can confirm is he's now a free man for the first time in 2.5 years. The 33-year-old had been behind bars since May of 2022, spending over 900 days in custody. We were here as the crowd gathered, ready to greet him in his first moments of freedom, although they were eventually told that Young Thug had already been released. His lawyer, Brian Steele, described in detail what life had been like for his client behind bars.
Nobody here wakes up every day on a concrete floor that they're calling his bed, gets up at 4:15, gets shackled at his feet, his waist, and his hands.
As part of his plea deal, Young Thug could end up back in jail if he violates any of his probation. Reporting live outside the Fulton County Jail, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
Now, today's plea deal does not signal the end of the YSL trial. The fate of two more co-defendants remains undecided. Diamante Kendrick and Shannon Stillwell are each pushing for this trial to continue. Atlanta News First spoke with Suri Chata Jimenez, the defense attorney who represented one of the original defendants. He laid out the rough legal road ahead for both men.
It is going to be challenging for them. The two remaining people are charged with very serious crimes. Mr. Stillwell is charged with a murder. He could be facing life. He could die in prison. I am hoping that they will offer him something reasonable for him to be able to evaluate his options and get to go home eventually.
The Atlanta News First app has complete coverage on this breaking
news,
including a timeline highlighting the major moments in this case.
Yeah, I don't want to see a timeline, but hey, man, I guess I would be able to watch that if I wanted to catch up on this, but whatever. All right, we got Young Thug's attorney speaks as rappers expected to be freed from jail. Like, this is right after the trial.
Howdy. Do y'all know which one of you wants to do most of the talking? Point at Mr. Steele. We'll have you stand like kind of in front of the mic stand if you don't mind. And then are all of my gentlemen photographers ready? You'll look at me or whoever asks you a question. We edit it for the most part. I don't think anyone's live.
I think we're taking it live.
Okay, Tyler's taking it live in the back.
Our talks.
Okay. The first question's the easiest. Just say your name so we can get mic levels real quick.
I'm Brian Steele, B-R-I-A-N-S-T-E-E-L.
And I'm Keith Adams, K-E-I-T-H-A-D-A-M-S.
And talk us through the decision to do a plea and...
I got a helicopter in the back.
All right, if y'all don't mind talking us through the decision to make a plea and just how today ended up going and transpiring.
Well, this was excruciating because hopefully, in our collective opinion, Jeffrey would have been found not guilty of everything. So this is very painful. But that's another 3 months or so in custody. And he wants to go home to his family. And negotiations totally broke down with the district attorney's office. Horribly broke down. And at that point, we believed that justice would be found with the honorable court. And Jeffrey just wanted to go home. How agonizing it is to know that we've spent a year trying a case where the prosecutors have put on lies, knowing lies, hiding evidence, is insane in 2024 in the United States of America. And the only reason that this got revealed is because of you people. You people brought the truth to the community because nobody knows this. And this is not the only courtroom it's happening in. And I just want to thank all of you. I especially want to thank Jeffrey for letting me represent him. I think he's a wonderful person who does wonderful things and will continue to do things even greater. I cannot express to you how Shaquille Kokomo, how Trisha Renard, how Haley, how my wife Colette, how Bram, how countless people, but especially Miss Courtney Edwards, has worked without sleep for 3 years representing Jeffrey and helping him. I will never be able to stand with anyone more ethical, honest, hardworking, insightful, intelligent, and kind than the Honorable Keith Adams. The gentleman to my left is the best lawyer in the country.
Mr. Steele, do you think prosecutors negotiated in good faith at all during any of these negotiations?
Why don't you let me take this one? Let me answer that. The short answer is no. This is a case that possibly could have been resolved if folks were reasonable. But we did not believe that we could enter into good faith negotiations with people who wanted a case resolved in a manner simply to save face. And Jeffrey Williams was not going to say things that they wrote for him, that they wanted him to say, that was their theory when it wasn't true. And so, good faith, no. I don't believe we were ever really negotiating in good faith. And you've been here the past year that this case has been on trial. You've seen the numerous motions for mistrial. You've seen the behavior of the state. You've seen the dishonesty. You've seen everything being hidden. You've seen things come out in court, in front of you. And so you know what kind of prosecution we were dealing with, and that's okay. You know, Mr. Steele and I have fought through this the past 2.5 years. And as he said, we ultimately decided we were going to put our faith in the court as opposed to the folks on the other side of the aisle. And, you know, the best thing out of all of this is that Jeffrey Williams, in a very short period of time, will be home. And that's all we've wanted from May 9th, when they went and picked him up and have held him in jail without a bond for the past 2.5 years. He'll be home shortly.
Keith and Brian, this either one of you can answer. So I have 2 questions for you. First off, you go into a blind, really, you don't know, right? There's nothing for sure. What was your emotions like when you guys went into that? I would imagine the conversation, can you kind of take us into the room before you went out into court, what the conversations were back and forth? Obviously, I know there's attorney-client privilege, but it's a big decision.
Well, I didn't want to give up the jury trial, but that was the decision made. And once that decision was made, we were just thankful that there are people like the Honorable Judge Whitaker who understands what a trial is like and what it should be like. And I cannot thank the Honorable Court for being here and coming in. She is not our first judge, but she's the first time we received justice.
Mr. Adams, this is your second high-profile RICO case here in Fulton County. Do you think that maybe the prosecutor's office is abusing that statute? And what are your opinions of RICO generally?
I have, for the 30-some-odd years that I've practiced law, always believed that if you, as a prosecutor, think that someone has committed a crime, you charge them with the crime, you put it in front of a jury, and then you do it fairly and let the chips fall where they may. The courtroom is not the place to get adventurous, to get inventive, to think, well, we don't have evidence on him for any of these incidents, but maybe, if just maybe, we tie him up in a RICO and put him with people who may have committed crimes, we can get him that way. That's an abuse. And so, yes, for some strange reason, the Fulton County DA's office seems to be in love with RICO, and my honest opinion is that they're in love with it because it makes it easier for them to try and convict people that they otherwise could not convict. And that's what was happening here. We're fighting a mountain, reams of evidence, most of which didn't have anything to do with us. And so, is it an abuse? I think it is. There are better ways to, and I used to be a prosecutor, right? And I can tell you that there are better ways to prosecute cases than the way this case was prosecuted.
You guys obviously rejected initially what the state was going to offer. Is there some details you can give us? Because it sounds like from what you guys decided in court, I mean, it's still pretty stringent. There's a lot of different details, but what was the state asking for that you guys rejected?
I'm not going to get into plea negotiations because they are privileged under statute, but it was outrageous. They would let him out of custody, but they would have a tether around him so tight that is unconscionable.
And how are y'all feeling about what the sentencing is, especially with not being able to be in Metro Atlanta except for specific parameters, and how is Mr. Williams feeling about that decision?
You know, we're okay with the sentence. There comes a time in any case, if a person is sentenced, that we're out of the courtroom, and now what happens to that person is entirely up to them. Jeffrey Williams is a fantastically talented man. He is a great person. He's become a great friend over the course of the last couple of years. And he has the ability, the incentive to go forth and do everything he needs to do to put this behind him. And we're confident that he will. One of the questions you asked a little earlier was, what was that feeling like, stepping into a courtroom to do what's called a blind plea, not knowing what's going to happen? You know, it's a scary feeling for all involved. There's probably no feeling quite like that other than sitting in a courtroom waiting for a jury to come out and tell you what your fate is. But we walked in there knowing that we were in front of a fair tribunal and being comfortable that the right thing was going to happen, and the right thing did.
What do you think about your client just serving as a role model? Obviously, as part of the agreement, he's going to be participating in the community, doing events, things like that. Obviously, he has a huge reach for what he does for a living.
I've known Jeffrey Williams. I've defended him for over a decade. I have been with him where we go to young children, children in need, children who are going down the wrong way. And he tells exactly what he's going to continue to say. He tells everybody, this is not a good life. We have to stop the generational disaster that is plaguing the community. And although right now I'm successful, I'm a product, but every one of you can get out. And he always stresses education. Jeffrey Williams is a great person, a great role model, and he will do even better now, hopefully, if you allow him and his words to get out. As far as how Jeffrey's feeling now, he knows my feelings, which I'm not going to reveal for attorney-client privilege, but this is not the same as a not guilty verdict. That should have been rang. But nobody here wakes up every day on a concrete floor that they're calling his bed, gets up at 4:15, gets shackled at his feet, his waist, and his hands, comes to the Fulton County Courthouse to be on concrete, eating out of a bag. Doritos is his meal of choice. And then coming to a courtroom and sit there with a leg chain on him every single day and hear lie after lie. So for Jeffrey go home today and not have another 90 days or 120 days of it, he is very happy, thankful to the honorable court. So to answer your question, this was not what I wanted. I don't believe that it is just, but I believe that under these circumstances, it is justice for Jeffrey Williams, and he is delighted, as are we, and thankful.
Can I ask you, you were standing right next to me.
Okay, W. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all. I've just been listening. I've just been actually trying to listen because, like I said, I want that knowledgeable over the last 2.5, 3 years that he been on this trial and fighting this case and stuff. But so when I spoke earlier, I was like, why did the dad want him to keep fighting for what? But now I'm seeing that they could have possibly, if they would have waited like till what, December, January, like February-ish, March, that he could have got out with no charges. He could have dropped everything free, probably no community service, nothing, maybe a little bit, I don't know, but basically everything would have been pretty much dropped. So I see why he was saying keep fighting, but at the same time, nigga was there for 2.5, 3 years, bro. Nigga's trying to leave, bro. Like, nigga, I would have been ready to leave after 2 days. Nigga. He probably was ready to leave after 24 hours, nigga. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's tough, man. It's tough, man. I'm learning a lot just listening to this. This one made me learn a lot, like this video right here. Just listening to his attorneys and stuff.
Your apology to her, or apology to the court and what happened, what has gone on. How did you feel sitting next to him, knowing him for the last decade as a attorney for him, about what he was saying and what he was telling the judge?
Jeffrey Williams is being truthful. That is his heartfelt feelings. He feels so bad for the loss of life, and he feels bad that people are taking his music or his social postings and making it into violence. That is all promotion. That is not a symbol of go hurt somebody. So I hope I've answered your question directly, but how I felt, I've heard that from Jeffrey over and over again.
You called out a lot of challenges in this trial based on the prosecution's points. Do you have any message to, the co-counsel that for now is still on trial, or what's left of this?
Oh my God, they are phenomenal lawyers, and I'm confident if you keep going, which I assume you will see some great lawyering. They don't need my help.
And the truth is, they've been there with us for the past 2.5 years. They're aware of what they're up against. They are totally capable of handling it, and I presume we'll step in from time to time because, in this fight in the past 2.5 years, we've been together. So we needed something, they've been there to assist, and if they need something, we're happy to step right back in and assist. But they're great lawyers. Max Shard, Doug Weinstein, those gentlemen are in great hands. They'll be fine.
I will say this, I think it is wrong, and it needs to be fixed, that an innocent man is arrested on May 9th of 2022, is denied bond, and has to plead guilty and nolo to get freedom after 2.5 years in custody. That should not happen. Nobody should be on trial. Jurors, think about what they're going through. Nobody should be on trial like this. And if Mr. Williams didn't have the resources, this never happens well for anybody. So I think it's an abuse, to answer the AJC's question. I think it's an abuse of the statute of RICO to do this to people.
I agree, man. If he was a normal nigga, not rich, not famous, they probably would have buried a lot of stuff, made sure this nigga got locked up for probably the rest of his life. If not that, then most of the rest of his life, which is crazy, man. The government, I'm telling you, man, the government, law, whatever you want to call it, is the biggest gang, and they hide stuff. They bend the law for their own benefit. They only use the amendment and stuff when it's for their own benefit. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. That's why y'all young niggas gotta tighten up. I'm not trying to be funny this time. Like, young niggas tighten up. If you middle-aged, old nigga, and you doing stupid stuff, still tighten up. Try not to stay out of the courts, man. Stay out of the jail. Stay out of the government. Like, cause they're not playing fair, bro. And they don't have to. They got so much resources. They are the law, my nigga. They're, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna tell them what to do? They're the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different positions to tell people what to do, of course, but the ultimate law, nigga, they gonna do what they want to do, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ultimate power gonna do what they want to do. So it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Is it fair to say you don't believe justice was served today?
I believe that Mr. Williams is home, and I'm delighted.
Is that like heck no?
Justice would have been served on May 8th of 2022 if the grand jury no-billed his indictment. That would have been just. And it's wrong to be under investigation. He's been under investigation for 15 years. 15 years by task force of federal government and local government. Think about that. Think about your children doing that. And that's okay. If it's okay with you all, then we should really start moving to another country. I want to thank everybody so much for everything you do. I cannot thank you all, because without you guys, this just keeps rolling in injustice. It's got to end. The criminal justice system, the presumption of innocence, the Brady rules, the ethical rules, they have to survive. Otherwise, we all are victims of this. Anyone can sit in that seat next to Keith Adams. Thank you all so much.
And no one sees it unless you guys do what you do. But I tell you what, there is a whole world of people out there who have watched this trial over the course of the past 2.5 years. The past year that we've actually been in the courtroom trying the case, who are much more educated to how things work, and unfortunately, sometimes how things don't work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Chef Steele.
That's crazy, man.
Chef Steele. Yes, sir. Great job. Great job. Yeah.
Alright, man. Watching that this video is an hour, man. So watching that, well, it might not be an hour because I'm gonna edit it a little bit, so it might not be an hour when y'all see it, but it's gonna be close to an hour for sure if it's not a full hour. But watching that, watching all those videos definitely helped me understand like kind of like the overall outlook of it, at least. Like, obviously I don't know everything still because I didn't do my research, but at the end of the day, man, the point is to, you know what I'm saying, the point is to just react with y'all. But as far as Young Thug, happy he's free. You know what I'm saying? No more saying free. I want to say free on Thug, but he free, so no more saying free on Thug. I don't know why I want to say that, but you know what I'm saying, he free, man. So W for that. Y'all drop by, subscribe. I was gonna do the academics video in this video, but this video already over an hour, so I'm gonna do it in a separate video. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe, so y'all turn on post notifications. Excuse me. Subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video. Like the video, and I'll see y'all in the next video where academics is gonna be talking about it, whatever he has to say, and then further videos I'm gonna react to today too. So man, y'all drop by, subscribe, stay tuned, roll to 10K. See y'all next video. We out.